6 weeks after our SEO sprint ended, the data looks like it's telling two completely different stories. One looks like it didn't work, and the other looks like it's continued to improve since the sprint ended. Hi, I'm Appy from iCodeHappy. I'm a website and data advisor. Back in November and December, I ran a 6-week SEO sprint. For one of my clients' products, we made small SEO and AEO changes over 6 weeks, looked at the data, and tracked to see what happened. Today, I'm checking in. I've looked at the data over the 6 weeks since the sprint ended, and we're looking to see what stuck, what faded, and what surprised us. So my client is a local women's boutique. She sells a line of scents, perfumes, and colognes is what we focused on. And some of them, we wanted to see if we could get some visibility and maybe some sales. That would be a bonus. There were 8 scents. We made small SEO and AEO changes over 6 weeks. We updated the main blog post. We updated product descriptions. We added internal links, FAQs, and even comparison blog posts. And during the sprint, we learned that what you measure and your time frame can change the story. At first, we were looking at keyword data. When we checked Google Search Console, we could see that we had impressions for these keywords that were the names of these scents, these perfumes and colognes. So we said, let's see if we can improve our visibility, get more impressions, more clicks. Maybe that will increase the sales of these products. But as we continued to make these SEO changes, we noticed that the keyword data got really chaotic. So we switched to looking at the product URLs. What kind of impressions and clicks and click-through rates were we getting for the product URLs themselves in Google search? That data was a little bit more helpful. As you can imagine, looking at it on a weekly basis, these numbers were still so small that there was a lot of noise. So we did 30-day lookbacks from the beginning of the experiment, the 30 days prior to that, and from the end of the experiment, we looked back 30 days from there as well. That helped us get a little bit clearer picture of what was going on before and during the experiment. But at our 6-week check-in, it still wasn't a clear enough picture. For this check-in, I'm comparing 3 6-week windows: the 6 weeks before the experiment, the 6 weeks of the experiment, and the 6 weeks after the experiment. So before, during, and after, what does it look like as far as visibility and sales of these items? So let's take a look at our visibility metrics first. We're looking at product URLs, impressions, clicks, and click-through rates. And the bottom line is more people are seeing these products, but they're not clicking more. So overall, for all of these products, all of these scents, we pretty much doubled impressions from 10,000-ish to a little over 20,000. These products are showing up in search. But clicks, while they did increase during the experiment, they've stayed nearly flat from before to after. So since we had an increase in impressions and clicks stayed pretty flat, our click-through rate dropped. And that looks pretty bad on a heat map. So what's going on? These items are showing up more in search, but not every search is a high intent search, especially since we're out of Q4 and outside of a few holiday bumps during the year. We may not see that level of high intent search until Q4. Looking at impressions, Midnight, Coastal Cowgirl, and Smoke Show all are getting way more impressions at this point. It could be that this is a story that's still developing and maybe the clicks will catch up. We may still have a little bit of tweaking to do to see if we can improve these numbers a little bit. Let's take a look at sales. Here's another heat map. We're looking at the same time frames as before. There's 3 sets of columns from before the sprint to during the sprint, those 6 weeks during the sprint. Did things go up? Did they stay the same or did they decrease? And then the same for during to after. Did things go up and then go back down? Did they continue to go up? So overall, then we have from before to after. What is the overall trend? So for sales, we're looking at sessions, so actual visits to the website, to these product pages. Then we're looking at sales of these products. And then the conversion rate, how many people that visited the product page for this product made a purchase. The upshot is the people who are coming to the website, they're buying. That's pretty good news. Website sessions from before to after increased some. It's not a huge increase, but it's not bad. Sales of all of these products combined went from 9 to 31 items from before to after. It increased from before to during to after. It continued to increase. Is that just our visibility campaign? Is that internal links for people who are coming for the main product anyway? And now they can see all these other products linked as well. And so they're buying more of those too. It could be a combination of things, but some combination of what we've done and maybe the overall general trends are working. And that's good news. Conversion rates are the standout thing here. We went from about 6% conversion to over 15% conversion. The people who are coming are buying. This is a good example of why you look at more than one data source. If I'd only showed you the search data, we would have said the sprint failed. If I only showed you this data, you'd say, man, you did a great job. This worked beautifully. But because we have both, it shows us that what we did probably helped, but there's room for more to do. And certainly, there's always more factors to take into account. So what does all this mean? The SEO improvements increased visibility as far as impressions, and that's holding. The on-site improvements that we've made as far as product descriptions and links, those are helping for people to find what they are looking for and be comfortable buying it. The gap is in the middle, turning that search visibility into people finding what they're looking for and coming and making that purchase. So that could be product titles, that could be meta descriptions, that could be several different things that we could think of tweaking next. And all the usual caveats apply, from seasonal trends to overall consumer trends and what people are buying these days, external factors like the economy in general or shout outs from people. And these are small numbers, so there is a lot of variability, but the results are encouraging. And this is what's important. Small improvements can compound, and checking in after the sprint is just as important as the sprint itself, because that's when you find out what stuck and what was just a factor of the attention you were putting on it at the moment. So should we check in another 6 weeks? I think we should. I'm curious as to whether the visibility in search keeps growing, whether those clicks start to catch up, and if the conversion rates will hold. You can let me know in the comments if you would like to see another check-in in another 6 weeks. And if you're a small business who would like to run a sprint like this in your business, feel free to get in touch. Thanks for watching. Come back and see me again.